here's some good news. The end of Disney's girl boss celeb era.
No.
Yes.
No.
69.
Alan, I have the story. It must be true. From our friends at That Park Place. Alan, I know you have the notes.
Yes.
I've got the story, of course, accentuated by, you've got a little Rachel ZEGLER here. Here you go. Alan,
right.
Give it to me. I really want this.
All right. When you look at the rise and fall of Rachel ZEGLER, you can't help but feel like you've watched a Hollywood shooting star burn down in real time. She came in blazes with West Side Story, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, both big projects, both major box office flops, but her talent is undeniable. Steven Spielberg himself discovered her. For a while, it felt like she was the next big thing. Then came Snow White, and with it, the headlines. Rachel was loud and proud and making the role her own, saying she wouldn't bleach her skin, calling the original dated, and declaring she wouldn't need a prince to save her. When the Disney remake finally dropped in March of 2025, it bombed hard. We're talking 205 million to 206 worldwide against a jaw-dropping $4 to $100 million budget. A historic flop. And suddenly Rachel was no longer Hollywood's golden girl. Her only confirmed future project, a quiet indie drama, She Gets It From Me with Marissa Tomei. No more Disney, no more musicals, no more headlines, except the bad kind. And Rachel's not alone. Amanda Stenberg, the diss track queen of Star Wars, has followed a similar trajectory. I remember when she was everywhere. The Hunger Games, The Hate You Get, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Now, a minor cameo in the next Spider-Verse movie and a role in Children of Blood and Bone. But that's not out until 2027. For someone with her talent and her early acclaim, the silence is deafening. It's not hard to connect the dots. Both ZEGLER and Steinberg were bold, outspoken, and unafraid to call out Hollywood and its audiences, and yet it feels like the same outspokenness has cost them. As the article puts it, Hollywood still responds to optics and controversy more than pure talent. Studios seem to be playing it safe, keeping their distance from anyone who might stir the pot. For Rachel, Star Wars, Snow White wasn't a box office disaster. It was the end of her Disney-era career. For Mandela, the lack of big projects screams hesitation, as those studios are waiting for the dust to settle before betting on her again. Both careers now feel like cautionary tales, reminders that in the postmodern Hollywood, being talented isn't always enough if you make the wrong kind of noise.
Well, Rachel ZEGLER, I think she will continue to work. She will not be in a major Hollywood tentpole in any movie budgeted over 50 million.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see her. She's gone away now to Broadway. Her praises are being sung there. That's where she belongs. She does not have the professionalism to go about doing a job, playing a Disney princess. You are that character on screen and off screen. You act accordingly. She doesn't know how. And in addition, audiences don't like that kind of character. Alan, I don't know. I think it's over.
Yeah, I think there's something about needing to appeal to a broad audience to make your movie successful, to not pander to one side and demonize the other. You just want people to make a movie, keep their opinions to themselves, and you can vote for whoever you want, but you've got to understand that if you're going to make it in this business, the studios want to make money.
Right.
You've got to appeal to both sides.
Glen Powell, who I really like Glen Powell as an actor. And Chris Pratt, I was a big fan of Parks and Rec. Love that show. It's Office-like, really fun, great cast. And that's where, of course, Chris Pratt came from. And Glen Powell says Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy changed Hollywood leading men. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
I know you have notes. This is from GQ, a recent interview with Glen Powell. He's looking, what is he? Looking buff there? Is that real? Is that real? I don't know. Alan, you've got the story. Give it to me.
And I mean, if that's not Hollywood's leading man, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
In the early days of his career, Glen Powell often felt like Hollywood was a game he wasn't even allowed to play. The industry had a clear type back then: moody, brooding leading men with tortured souls. As Powell himself once put it, Robert Pattinson was probably the prototype. It was the Twilight era, and a former Texas high school football player who still looked the part didn't exactly fit the mold. Even when Friday Night Lights came to shoot in his hometown of Austin, Powell couldn't get hired. Casting directors, if they called at all, wanted him for jock or the fraternity guy or the very vanilla next door neighbor vibes. He was stuck in the background, never giving the chance to do more. But then Hollywood shifted. I remember when Chris Pratt broke out in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's no doubt it really helped. It not being broody or dark like I'm not Christian Bale. Christian Bale has gravitas and weight, and Pattinson has this thing. And when Pratt kind of appeared on the scene, that's when I felt most at home. Suddenly, the industry wanted leading men who could be funny, light, a little self-deprecating. That's when Powell's career began to accelerate. Roles in Richard Linklater's Everybody Wants Some, Hidden Figures as John Glenn, and Netflix's rom-com Set It Up allowed him to be more edge and charm to parts that might once have been one-dimensional. He was also getting older, which mattered. The guy that I admired, they usually didn't break out until they were later in the game, Powell said. As Michael Waldron, who created Chad Powers with him, observed, maybe people were sick of just feeling like their heroes were boys. Glenn feels like a man. When the pendulum finally swung his way, Powell was ready, and he had the range and timing to seize the moment.
Well, I mean, look at this weird photo from GQ, and there's even a one here where his legs. What is up with that?
Oh my gosh.
By the way, that's fake, obviously, but it looks like something you wear. It's kind of a joke. But I like Glen Powell a lot. I'm looking forward to Running Man. I thought he was good in Twister.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I like the guy. To see him do more. But I think, he's able to do humor and drama.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Chris Pratt proved that. I mean, Chris Pratt, he was kind of the thing. I remember when he got cast in Guardians, he just looked very doughy.
Yeah.
That was part of his character. He was sort of
it was the fat guy from Parks and Rec is playing Star-Lord.
right. But he went on that Marvel diet and bulked up and, looked great. So, and every Marvel, if you're a male character in the Marvel universe, you're doing a scene shirtless. Every single actor has done it. Paul Rudd, Benedict Cumberbatch, everyone, RDJ, Chris Evans, they've all done shirtless. So you're going to do it. And Chris Pratt as well. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, between Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney, white people are making a comeback. Congratulations, folks.
As they should. Hey, more news here. The making of Star Wars is getting the graphic novel treatment. What? This is crazy. Alan, I know you have the story in front of you. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. George Lucas and the making of Star Wars get the graphic novel treatment with Lucas Wars. A first look. Alan, tell me about it.
Well, George Lucas's journey from an aimless youth to the creator of Star Wars is being reimagined in a bold new way. On September 16th, Macmillan's 23rd Street Books will release Lucas Wars, a graphic novel adaptation of Lucas's life and the making of his 1977 sci-fi epic. offering what authors Laurent Hauptmann calls a biographic approach to the story. First published in France in 2023, the 208-page work follows Lucas through a near-fatal car crash that changed his life, his film school ambitions, his friendships with Francis Ford Coppola, his marriage to Marsha Lucas, and his endless battles with 20th Century Fox to get Star Wars made. As Hauptmann explains, the goal was to stick to the facts while crafting a gripping novel. Every time a reader asks themselves, did this really happen? The answer is yes. Hauptmann avoided the common trap of Hollywood biopics that sacrifice accuracy for drama. I truly believe there's a way to respect reality while still crafting a script that's gripping and intense, he added. He took bare minimum of liberties while staging the story to spotlight key moments that without changing chronology or inventing conflict. Illustrator Renaud Roche faced his own challenges, from turning long board conversations into visually dramatic scenes to capturing the likenesses of real people without losing expressiveness. Either you get faces that look very accurate but feel stiff, or you get faces that look very expressive but veer into cartoon territory. Hauptmann noted Roche, he said, managed to do both. He admitted Carrie Fisher was the hardest to capture. She has a look that changes a lot depending on the angle, the lighting. I had tons of photo references, and sometimes I felt like I wasn't even looking at the same person. With its English translation by Jeremy Melleu, Lucas Wars promises to deliver the story of Star Wars creation with all drama intact, but none of it manufactured.
Well, I like this idea. I like the idea of a graphic novel capturing the making of Star Wars. I know way too many stories about the making of Star Wars. Probably the best book is The Secret History of Star Wars. I recommend the audio book. It is 40 hours, but the guy who reads it does everyone's voice. He does a perfect George Lucas, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, even Gary Kurtz, and among others. It's a great audio book. And I, for one, will check this out. I like this concept. I mean, look, what may end up happening is we may not really get a good Star Wars movie, but at some point we may get a good movie about Star Wars and the making of it, as opposed to actually getting a good Star Wars film. This looks fun. I'll check. Look at this. They're dramatizing all these moments. I like it. There it is. Something we didn't get in the Star Wars sequels. Look at this. Han, Luke, and Leia. There it is. Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill. I like the idea behind this. I'll pick this up when it comes out.